Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Vash Sky ParkCast. I am Vash Sky, going to be your host of today's ceremonies here. And wow, is it really interesting what is going on in the theme park world currently. Obviously, we're getting preparations made for D23, the ultimate fan event. It used to be a D23 Expo. It was perfect branding. I don't know why they changed it. But we're preparing for that, and it looks like the company has a slate of things that they want to go ahead and show us. I don't know if they're particularly new things, but they said a few surprises, so we'll be checking that out thusly. We've got rumored attractions, closing attractions, opening attractions, very interesting stuff, maybe an entire park that might be at issue when it comes to enhancements going on at Walt Disney World. But first, we got to start off with what you all clicked on, which was the price increases at Disneyland Resort. Hundreds of items all over the resort have been increased in price. And that might be questionable, considering our economic environment right now and the fact that, well, I don't know how many people are necessarily inclined to go to the Disneyland Resort right now. But I think it'll all make sense when we break it down for you on here. First, though, we have Just a Dutchie coming on in here with the 22 euros. Goodness gracious, thank you so much for that. Very much appreciate you, Dutchie. Holy cow, do they serve their food and drinks with gold? Unless it's going shogi in the kitchen, they need to calm down. Anywho, have a great show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the rewatch. Thank you so much, Dutchie. Very much appreciate you. And 22 euros, that definitely helps us out. And yeah, it is crazy, right? It's kind of insane to increase prices as aggressively as they have been. Well, some of that might be because of inflation, no question about that. But other reasons, I do think they're cropping up. Maybe relating to the streaming business, maybe related to earnings calls. We'll see about that. Juliet coming in, though, with the 2 British pounds sterling. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate you. Evening, Vash Sky ParkCast, Skyliners, and Sky Watchers. Well, I do appreciate that. That is awesome stuff right there. Juliet moderating back in the chat. Keeping it clean. Do appreciate everything that you do right there. And you've just been so generous every single show. It's, 1, 2 British pounds sterling. I do appreciate everything that you are doing for this program. We've got some amazing people in the chat right now. We've got Kit Kat, Nicole Williams. We've got MagicalyMJ as well. We've got the Real Ventures. We have Erica and Raph in there as well. Looks like putting on dinner while listening in. That's pretty cool right there. Don't burn yourself now. Don't want to have that happen. Got Sarah Rust. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us for what is a momentous occasion. Let's go ahead and bring on a couple of people to help me out with this next segment right here that just came in from the back. We have first Miss MagicalyMJ and also too Going Shogi. Hello there, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
we hear
good.
you loud and clear.
Absolutely.
I just want to make sure I'm not technology brained. I'm a stove jockey.
Just a humble cook. No,
Exactly,
don't worry about that.
exactly.
No, you make art, sir. Art on the
You're gonna
plate.
make me turn beet red.
Yeah, exactly. Even more so from that California sun right there. I know you spent some time at Disneyland Resort recently, so this might be actually pretty good to go over with you. I do think so. And we've got some remarkable stuff going on here. Let's go ahead and put this on screen right now. From Walt Disney World News today, Disneyland Resort raises prices on hundreds of food and beverage items. This is by Shannon Ace, July 14th, 2026. Disneyland Resort has raised prices on hundreds of food and beverage items at the parks and hotels, including classic snacks, churros, and popcorn. You can see right there Disneyland menu prices. Now I'm going to go ahead and give Theme Park IQ the credit here because he was the first one to really provide a comprehensive breakdown of all of the increases in prices. You can see right here, the big dining price changes are happening across the Disneyland Resort. As I post this, I'm working on a full summary. Few highlights: churros from $5.75 to $6.25, an 8.7% increase. Popcorn $6.50 to $7, 7.7% increase. Coffee $4.79 to $5.49, 14.6% increase. Goodness gracious. Quick service cocktails went up $1. Sippers / buckets went up $1 to $1.20. That was July 14th, actually, 2 days ago at the time of this recording right here. And we have a bigger comprehensive list as provided by Theme Park IQ as well. You can see right there, we just went over churros, popcorn, caramel popcorn, up 6.7%, now to $8 right there. Classic funnel cake $9.49, vanilla soft serve $6.99. Actually not terrible, at least for a theme park operation. Bottle of Coca-Cola up 5.8%, and again, it goes beyond this. Quick service food as well included, like the bean and cheese burrito up 44%. Goodness gracious, I think that's at Rancho del Zocalo right there. $12.99. Bean and cheese burritos. Come on. I mean, Shogi. What is going on right here? Well, that's a little outrageous, don't you think? I understand cheese is expensive, but I didn't know that beans were going up by 44% right there. What do you take from all of this?
No. I kind of feel like, as a Disneyland local, that they know that we are diehards, we're ride or die, and that we will pay these because we're going on vacation with our family. We love this place, and we got to eat. And so even though it's not necessarily something that you want to see, it's not to be totally unexpected, honestly, because they're making most of their money not only off of Disneyland, but off of food in general now. And I was actually going to ask you, like, has there been, I know there was in Disney World, has there been a recent change in the management and power of Disneyland?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Jill Estorino took over from Thomas Maslum, who he himself was the chairman of the entire experiences division. So I would assume that with Jill Estorino's entrance right there, that she has a little bit of a say as to who her lieutenants are and everybody below that.
Yeah. So what I was going to say was that, like, I feel like since these companies, like, we're dealing with a lot of really big food corporations now within the Disneyland park. And so I was wondering if maybe those contracts might have been up for question now that somebody new has entered the playing field.
Well, that's an interesting idea. Usually, resort wide, those contracts would be for years spans.
Yeah.
Right. So it would be inconsequential who necessarily was at the top. And I would hope so, because Disneyland has had so much turnover at the presidential position. Yeah. I do hope that some of those contracts aren't necessarily incumbent on who is sitting there at the top of TDA. But this is so, on an annual basis, you'll see hundreds or thousands of price increases to various product right here. Yeah. I think the positioning, the timing is very interesting, right? Because you're right, Shogi. For the Disneyland base, which is mainly consisting of pass holders, again, the old statistic used to be that 75% of the annual attendance for the Disneyland Resort comes with yes, exactly. The locals. 75% of the attendance annually for Disneyland Resort comes within 250 miles of that resort, right? So it's very locally driven, very annual pass holder heavy. And so when you're looking at, the comparisons between the monetization or the revenue output from Walt Disney World versus Disneyland, right? Walt Disney World, to have so many domestic tourists, international tourists, they're spending a lot of money per day, right?
Yes.
Versus annual pass holders, they can spend money in the course of a year that they have their pass.
Mm-hmm. But they already got the annual pass money, so now they're going after the extracurriculars.
Right, exactly. And they make a lot from the annual pass holder revenue, right? Because it's a monthly basis right there. You can imagine, like I don't know, is the Inspire the top one, Shogi?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I canceled my annual pass because, in my opinion, a little bit less is more. So I try to go maybe once a year, twice a year, but I try to make it so that when I do go, it is more worth my while. And then the price increases don't hit as hard because I'm busy having fun with the fam, you know?
Exactly. So if you were to take, let's say, the annual pass holder population, right, at Disneyland, let's say you had, we're probably looking at maybe 200,000 at least on the Inspire key alone, which is $1,900 right there. If we divide it up by 12, and I understand payments and everything like that, it gets a little tricky because there's such an upfront fee right there, but average is about $150 per month, and then you do by 200,000 pass holders. That's around $31 million right there every single month that's coming in from annual pass holders. They do contribute greatly to the revenue output of the company, but you'd like to get just a little bit more out of them, right? And so how do you do that? Well,
kind of feels like they're holding us upside down and shaking those last little coins out of our pocket a little bit here.
Of course.
My apologies, gentlemen, but we have a member in the audience that I would like to shout out. Incognito Mouse, thank you so much for being here. And we appreciate you being in the audience and watching or listening.
Thank you, Incognito Mouse, for coming on in here. I know you've been interfacing with MJ in the back there to get you on a program right there. So thank you so much for coming on in, and thank you for watching this show. As I was saying before, like you were saying, right, the shake your ankle strategy and getting all those pennies. The way that's achieved historically with that robust annual pass holder population is, well, you aggressively increase on your food, beverage, your snack items and so forth, your grab and goes, all of that. You look at, what our annual pass holders engaging in most, and you just raise those prices out. And why are they doing that here? Well,
we're loyal and we got to eat.
Exactly. It's a captured audience. You got to eat. So it's kind of like, okay, well, this is just part of the deal. The other part of it is, too, I think the reason why they do it right now is to get ready for that, maybe not so much Q4, but certainly those Q1 numbers, right? Q1, which starts, the fiscal year for Disney starts on October 1st, which is a little bit different than, like Comcast, for example, which is typically January. They want that first quarter to be a banger, right? They always look for that good upfront upstart. And part of that strategy is to, front load a lot of price increases, maybe a lot of ticket increases, all of that for that busy holiday season. That way you can get the most amount of revenue possible to show that shareholders, hey, look, we've increased revenues for our experiences division. They didn't go down, they went up. Even though
fall Christmas are their new summer. Like, that's their money-making holidays now.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that.
Especially, they increase these prices right before they unblack out the lower tiers.
Right. That's a fair point, actually. Yeah. So those lower tiers come in for that, split second right before the holidays, and well, they can expect to pay a higher sum. Also, too, this offsets a little bit, I think, some attrition that the parks have experienced in terms of attendance. Right. So the idea is to make more money off of less people. I was just in a conversation with Marvin from that Park Place yesterday, and we were talking about how for Walt Disney World, right, there are, there's a pretty healthy amount of folks, at least from his personal experience right there, but the wait times are down. What could be the cause of that? You could get more locals in to Walt Disney World a little bit right now than maybe domestic or international tourists. Not only because it's hot, but there's not really a great incentive to go to Walt Disney World currently. You can hold off on a vacation for 3 to 4 years while those new additions, expansions open. I think that's kind of the operation that's going on there. You make up for that, well, with these little price increases, right? Now, Shogi, I wanted to go into some of these increases. Is this consistent with the rate of inflation, do you think, for food right now? Or do you think it's just simply monetary output? Please go ahead.
I think it's honestly just simply monetary output. Like, I've been trying to think about it over and over, and honestly, there was no reason for them to increase these prices to this extent. Okay. I know that gas is going up. I know that food prices are going up, but This really does almost feel like they're fleecing the California crew. Like they know that we're a very loyal bunch and that we will show up, because while Disneyland or Disney World, I mean, crowds have been slowly on the downswing, Disneyland is still selling out to the point that they don't block out their lowest tier for a week. They block them out for a month and a half. And I think that they're really taking advantage of us and our passion for this place, because they're falling short in other spots, namely in their movie department.
Their movie department certainly taking a hit a little bit with Moana dragging down that tremendous box office from
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Moana would have mind blown?
Leave it to Disney to ruin that golden goose right there. Also, Mando.
I know.
Mando's a little chalk against them, at least right now. And streaming. Streaming hasn't fully turned around. Obviously, it's not duplicated the success of their previous broadcast and linear television side of the business right there. So I think a lot of investors are kind of looking at that with maybe a little bit of trepidation, as we'll go over actually
merchandise
there.
Because honestly, like you said, I was in Disneyland last week, and like the biggest thing they have right now is Toy Story 5. I didn't see anybody who cared. Like normally you see little kids dressed as Buzz Lightyear or Jessie or Woody. They didn't even have any of the Toy Story characters out and about.
Theme Park Casual actually saying that some of these prices may have been walked back just a little bit right there, especially that bean and cheese burrito that we mentioned before. Not sure if you mentioned, but it appears some of the Disneyland prices have been walked back. This by Theme Park Casual. Burrito stays at $8.99. I do hope it stays that way. Look,
it should, because those are the two cheapest ingredients you can get: beans, cheese, and rice. Like the three ingredients in that thing cost pennies.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, well, that's already kind of a value item.
And we're talking about like a huge resort. They're not ordering like a couple pounds. They're ordering tons of beans and cheese and rice. Like they're getting this at a far lesser price than the rest of us.
I would think so. I would hope so. For their sake right there. No, it's like, why go? It was a 44% change that we talked about right there. I'm glad that they have, come to their senses, at least on that item. But and Nicole Williams actually saying it right here. Why must we pay for the movie blunders? I know. This is why we bring up the movie blunders, because it does affect your park going experience. You get less entertainment. You get higher prices. Maybe that attraction that was going to feature the audio animatronic gets cut because, well, we got to make roll, right? We have to make sure that the balance sheet is according.
They know Disneyland will show up. We will show up.
Yes. Yeah.
Every time we will show up, because we care about this company. We care about this company. We care about these properties. We care about these things. This isn't just like another place. Like this is. It's like it's a deep dive into an individual's personality. I know Disney adult catches a lot of heat for the term, but like we grew up on this stuff. This stuff is important to us.
Of course, absolutely, and that's the thing, Shogi. Walt Disney World is a little bit more inconsistent when it comes to that revenue generation, right? Because sometimes it's seasonal, sometimes it's new attraction opens or whatever, new promotion, holidays, so you ride this kind of oscillating wave right there. Versus at Disneyland, it's actually very consistent because, well, like you said, Shogi, everybody wants to show up. And so the only management from Disney's end is how many annual pass holders are we going to let in at any one time? Maybe a little bit less in the fall and Christmas time period. When it comes to summer, we'll go ahead and let a little bit more in. That kind of thing. In order
we
to
had a
maximize.
question from Rudio1 for Vash.
Please.
Can you confirm that Disneyland doesn't pay for Coke products?
Okay, so I have heard this and I've been told this, that because of the deal that they have with Coca-Cola, that they don't necessarily pay for product that they sell. I've seen this around. I've heard this, And I know that there are arrangements set up for businesses to work on this level. I do believe Disney works on this level where they don't necessarily pay for it. They obviously just have a distribution deal with Coca-Cola for the machines and all of that, and
I was
their
going to
services.
say, if I can expand on that question, are they not
Is
paying for the machines, but paying for the bottles? Because those Galaxy's Edge bottles are made special.
Right. So, when it comes to like bottles and stuff like that, that's a different item right there. And obviously Coca-Cola, has some incentive to make as much money on that product as possible right there. Also to the machines and how they're serviced, that's going to come down to that individual deal. But from what I understand, for this question right here, do they pay for Coke product? I have heard that they do not. I do require just a little bit more authentication on that.
For sure.
Verification.
I can add to that a little bit also, and I know that at the hotel that I worked at, our Coke machines that we had, we didn't pay for the syrups. We gave them like a little bit of each item sold.
Yeah.
So,
and like, when I was working at McDonald's years ago, I'd always heard like when it comes to the price of a drink or something like that, I mean, it's like pennies. So it wouldn't surprise me if Coca-Cola has a deal with Disney for this, because the product itself is relatively cheap.
yes,
versus
it costs nothing.
services, the
like beans and
names.
rice.
It's like beans and rice, right? Which means that, from Disney's perspective, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and raise that.
Exactly.
Because we can maximize some revenue right there.
Exactly.
Very interesting stuff right there. MJ, I want to go ahead and bring you on in here. When it comes to these price increases, I mean, obviously you have a family, you have little ones. When it comes to budgeting out for the parks, or does this affect your travel plans in any way? Do you end up maybe going, maybe you were going to have a weekend trip, maybe it's just 2 days instead of 3, maybe perhaps you're budgeting in such a way that you're buying less in order to account for some of these changes? I want to go ahead and hear from you. What is your reaction to this?
I really think that for anyone with a family, especially if you have little ones, because they consume, it's every hour. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, right? So try to plan ahead of time. And whoever you're working with, if it's your first time going to the Walt Disney World Resort or Disneyland Resort, you should talk and work with your travel agent so that you can either, come up with a good plan. They do have the dining plan. I'm not sure how this food increase affects their dining plan, but they had some really good incentives for not just annual pass holders, but for anyone purchasing the dining plan. Little ones were able to eat. For example, in Florida, they were able to eat if you were ages 3 to 9 this whole entire summer until September 8th. So that includes food, beverage, and maybe a snack. It depends on what tier level of the dining plan you purchase. But for us, we're considered locals as well. I mean, we're all kind of in the same boat here on this panel. So it's kind of difficult for me to come out with the perspective of someone traveling overseas. Just put that in your budget and have a plan, and try to have a mindset of, what, I'm going to follow a few of these tips and tricks, like the ones on social media, like for example, the FB food guide, because you want to target the snack that's in right now for the season, right? Oh, that slushie looks really good. I'm going to budget, make sure I have enough money for everyone to be able to try that. Or you could share it because they're pretty large sometimes. Dole Whips, pretzels are shareable. I just think that everyone should budget accordingly, work with your travel agent, do your homework ahead of time if you can, and factor in what's important to you. We all know that there's a lot of money saving tricks, like the free water fountains throughout the property that you could refill, bring your own water bottles and just refill them up, for example. But if there is if you're a soda drinker or a coffee drinker, go ahead and buy that unlimited refill resort mug, because we do, and we live by them. We swear by them because
you don't have that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, to each resort, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to plan accordingly, do their homework, depending on what what Disneyland park you're traveling to is what I mean. But for us, we just have a target because I do so much research. I'm like, all right, we're going to do that snack. We're going to eat at this place and we're going to try this and we can share that. And you just got to make a plan. And normally, like I said before, we usually have a target, what we want to try ahead of time, basically.
If I can also expand upon that, is that me and my family do the same thing. You got to know your audience. And my mom eats like a bird, and my sister maybe wants a couple bites. So we grab one thing each, and then we share it, and then we each get to taste a little bit of everything. So it's kind of like we make our own little tapas off of what Disneyland has to offer. But I would be careful and know your audience, because some of this stuff is going to be bigger than you think it is, and you don't want to waste food when you're paying these kinds of prices.
Well, Shogi, you have a question here from Theme Park Casual.
Yeah.
I thought I would bring that up since you're already talking. The real question is, when is Shogi making a gourmet tomato-less meal?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't think I used a single tomato in my Pirates of the Caribbean meal, but yeah, Theme Park Casual is not a fan of tomatoes. We have learned that recently. He is a tomato hater.
All right.
Yeah.
We also have a
sorry if I
question
interrupted you, Vash.
No, you're fine. You're fine, going Trey. All good right there. And we definitely want to maximize on your culinary output, that's for sure. So, Theme Park Casual, it's a good question. Rogue Attraction, though, coming in here. What's the Disneyland base salary for cast members now? I am getting reports anywhere between $13 to $25 per hour. Some many skilled roles exceeding $26 per hour. So it just kind of depends on where you're at right there and what they actually need you for. Or go somewhere else. Any other awesome place in America that isn't as expensive, and then you can enjoy it more. This by Chris A. 426 right there. Yeah, I mean, we do love these places, and we do try to visit them as much as we possibly can. But yeah, there are some places that have, in terms of value, right? They've kind of shot up a little bit ever since 20.
But they don't hit the same. I know,
they don't hit the same.
We can go different. We know we can go different places, or a European vacation for half of what we spend for a Disneyland vacation. But
yes,
it's not about that. Like, we know the experiences we're setting ourselves up for. And
I have a solution to this problem. So if you're a foodie and you want unlimited everything, but you want that Disney touch, that magic feeling, book yourself a Disney Cruise Line vacation. You will have unlimited food and beverage, my friend.
That's
and let's
true.
Not talk about the ice cream here.
But also, like, part of this
Yeah.
cost increase also comes from, like, Disney not making anything from scratch. Like, if they bought scratch ingredients, it would be far cheaper. But you have to pay for the company to make the churro, and then the company has to ship you the churro, and then that has boxes, that has plastic, that has gasoline. So as that company's costs go up, so does everybody else costs go up.
Yeah,
so
that's a fair point.
If Disney would actually start to go back to making more things from scratch, they could bring these prices down. They're already. I'm a cook. I'm the guy who gets paid the least in the restaurant, and you know what? I'm okay with that because it's what I chose to do, and I love what I do. So Disney needs to stop pretending like they're paying us for our skilled position when we're doing it because we love it. And
Absolutely.
There's no reason to not bring these people in to provide something from scratch that is of quality.
That's a fair point.
You blew my mind the other day when he was explaining to me the process, Vash, on French fries. My mind was blown because you can find French fries at any Disney resort worldwide, right? Shogi said basically it costs nothing to make French fries. Nothing. I don't know if you have time to elaborate on that, but literally, like, even the Food and Wine Festival, they incorporate French fries even in the poutine over at the I forget the pavilion in Epcot. It's insane.
So this comes back to that bulk buy. Like, you have the option of doing like In-N-Out, where you can either buy very cheap potatoes, you can make a subpar French fry. I know I'm going to get some hate in the comments for that one, but but when it comes to actual French fries, and when you get something crispy, they're actually double fried. And so when you get them frozen, that first fry is already done, and then they're immediately flash frozen. but you're buying them in such high quantities for your entire park for everything that like they cost less than the beans and the cheese. Right. Because like you have a freezer somewhere on Disneyland, Disney World property that's just French fries at this point, honestly. Because it comes with everything. It comes with everything now. Like where you used to get mashed potatoes or grits or something flashy and fun, it's now just French fries.
Yeah, cost reduction through scale, which I think is a really, really key right here. Rogue Attraction coming in here. Hey, Five Guys does good fries.
Yeah,
look, there have been great, fries to be had all around Disneyland Resort. Unfortunately, we just got a huge reduction, the fry quality when it comes to the entirety of Disneyland Resort, which is why we went on a little bit of a fry tangent there because it was so profound. Just I remember crisp fries, and smoked jumpers.
They're so generous too. Like at Five Guys, you get your order of fries, and then Shogi even said the other day, he was like, MJ, they put an extra scoop because they just want you to feel, what was the word? Not just appreciated, but
the way Five Guys does their fries is they understand that they're overcharging you for the burger and the fries. So what they do to make you feel like you're not getting screwed over, or I'm sorry, language, so you don't feel like you're getting less for what you're paying for. They actually fill your fries, they put them in the bag, and then they put an extra scoop on top of that. So that when you go to open your bag, you're like, look at all these fries that I got, because it costs them nothing. They're making the money on everything else.
Right. And it's really interesting too, bringing it back to the parks there and the differences between resorts. Walt Disney World, they have dining plans, right? Walt Disney World, they have some value options there for guests, like refillable popcorn buckets, for example, refillable mugs for the resorts, etc. Disneyland doesn't necessarily benefit from many of those. Why? It's because, well, like we said, locals. And so it's like, if that's the way that their revenue generation actually comes in when it comes to monetizing of these pass holders, why would you necessarily provide a discount for those things?
Exactly.
If I may add to this, as a theme park enthusiast, I will hands down give credit where credit is due. And the Rogue Attraction is absolutely correct. The SeaWorld hand makes the chicken tender still. The dining plan ticket offer that they have is the best, and their food quality. I don't know who their distributor that they are working with, but holy moly, guacamole, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld have the best food, and they will always be on top, like over Disney, in my opinion. It's delicious. I don't know if anyone else out there can attest to that, but for a family, go ahead and purchase that ticket that includes the dining for the whole day. You will not be sorry that you did. Absolutely amazing.
If I can throw a little shade in the direction of Universal too, and Disneyland actually started doing this as well. We're at the point now where we have QR chips on the bottom of paper cups because they don't want you to get a second refill.
Yes. Walt Disney World did that years ago. Actually, I think it was 12 years ago now.
But that's how much money they make off of these products.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. So it's like, now we have to control those revenue generation opportunities at the, various parks now, as it's harder to monetize as much as they might want to. So it's all of those things kind of coming into it. I will say about those all-day dining passes, my only concern with those are that I think Universal Studios Hollywood has started a dining pass program of some kind. I think, obviously SeaWorld Knott's, they have those. My only issue is that what often happens with those is that the regular guests who might not have those items end up subsidizing those dining plans through even elevated costs, right? So I've gone to like Knott's Berry Farm, and the prices have been outrageous. SeaWorld is as well. And it's like, why is that? They have those dining plans. So I'm not the biggest fan because they kind of push the incentivization structures to push you towards those dining plans. But obviously, they have to make up those included meals somewhere. Tends to be on a la carte, those items right there. So Not so great, not so fantastic, but to each their own. Every single resort does business a little bit differently. And certainly when it comes to Disneyland, they are increasing prices in order to maximize on their business structure right there. And why is that? Why are they doing this? Well, we've talked about it before. It's streaming. And Hollywood Reporter actually asking this question right here, technically going off of a Wells Fargo analyst. You can see right here from the Hollywood Reporter, should Disney exit the streaming business? From Alex Weprin, right there. This was published a couple of days ago. Wells Fargo analyst Stephen Cahill argues in our new research note that focusing in on IP and experiences could raise Disney's stock price by 40%. Goodness gracious, that is quite a bit right there. Obviously, Walt Disney Company being this undisputed leader among legacy entertainment companies, legacy entertainment being the key word there. But one Wall Street analyst, Wells Fargo's Stephen Cahill, is asking a provocative question in a research note released Sunday. What if the key to unlocking Disney's stock price is exiting the streaming business altogether? Cahill suggests that if Disney returned, quote, to its old business model of producing versus distributing, it could add 40% to the company's share price and tighten management's focus on creating and managing intellectual property as well as lucrative experiences business. The Wells Fargo analyst that said that if Sony is getting $1 billion annually from Netflix for its pay one movie output deal, Disney could be in line for nearly $4 billion. When Pay 2 and Disney's unmatched library is factored in, licensing revenues could hit $15 billion. Quote, we don't think the box office, experiences, or brand value would suffer if the library were on a competing global streamer, Cahill writes. Investors would benefit from a de-risked business model with Disney focused purely on content versus distribution. Josh Giamaro may be considering all options. Shogi, we talked about before how the share price has been stagnant for 10 years, even though they've had a slew of acquisitions that should have at least raised that shareholder value right there. Apparently, the shareholders looking to invest in Disney aren't necessarily thinking that. So that's why that price has been stagnant to just under $100 a share. I think about everything that we've lost for streaming. Again, this was a venture worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Okay, this is one of the biggest mistakes that it might be the single biggest mistake Bob Iger ever made, was to go so aggressively into streaming, which had, obviously there was a snowballing effect that happened from that decision, right? Obviously, it's like, okay, well, if we're going to go in streaming, then we have to buy Fox. And if we're going to, buy Fox, then we have to do this. Then we have to, take on $40 billion worth of debt. And all of these things happen because of... Right, exactly. All these things happen from this one decision right here. And it's one of the reasons why the prices are going up, exponentially at Disneyland Resort recently, right? It's to make up for that lost capital from their investment into streaming. And Pro and Jonas and others over there at the That Park Place Network have made the case for years, even I have, that, wow, if you just, maintained your licensing agreement that you already had with Netflix before you pulled your content from them.
Marvel too,
right? In order to start Disney Plus, it's like, now it's like, oh, licensing is in again. Shogi, what do you think about all of this? Is it too late to change course, or should they actually go forward with some licensing deals with a streamer like Netflix? Your thoughts, please.
I think it might be too late at this point, because nobody's interested in anything new that they're coming out with. Like, they're hitting random successes, like when they have like Toy Story 5 or the live action Lilo and Stitch. But like, they're approaching every single one of these, like all of these are going to be $2 billion moneymakers, but almost, what is it, like 1 in 5 of them are. And so they're spending all this money, but to make it up, it has to come from somewhere, and they're going to get that money back no matter what, and it's going to come from the fans at the parks. And that's why we're seeing turkey legs go up $1, is because nobody's buying the tickets to go see Moana.
Right. Effectively, folks, if you aren't paying to see Moana, guess what? You're paying in another way.
They're going to get that money.
Disney. They're gonna
I
get
think
that
it was
money,
in Game
right?
of it was I think it was a quote in Game of Thrones. I think it was one of the Lannisters was saying like they always get their gold.
They always get their gold.
They will always get their gold. And they're going to get it from us because like they know that at the end of the day, it's a nickel here, it's a dime there, it's a quarter, it's 50 cents. But we'll pay it because we love this stuff.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah, they're and it's why Josh D'Amaro is the head of the company now, because of his work within the experiences unit in order to offset some of those huge losses actually experienced on the entertainment side of the business. It's like, okay, well, if we are an experiences company, if that's where our bread and butter comes from, then put that guy in charge. And that's why he won the race versus Dana Walden, right? Much more entertainment focused right there. Yeah. And well, entertainment not doing so great for the Walt Disney Company. It's not the one making the money. So in order to fuel these future projects right there, obviously that capital has to come from somewhere in order to make up for losses like a Moana, like a Mando. Hey, I didn't see Moana. Shogi, you didn't see Moana. MJ, I don't think you've seen Moana. But guess what? We've all paid for it.
But you know what? I didn't even make it to the part of Tafiti coming out of the water. I fell asleep after they beat the Kakamoras because The Rock didn't deliver. It was just, I don't want to divert here, but his performance was really poor. He just didn't. He's tired. He's an old man. Leave him alone. Let him rest.
That's true.
You know, it's like, you know, nobody wants to see that nonsense. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that no matter how much we actually care about these things, there is still eventually a breaking point because like little things may be taken away here and there. Taking the piranhas out of the Jungle Cruise. It may not seem like much, but what's next? Putting a new pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean instead of fixing the blasters on Buzz Lightyear. These are so little things that stack up where it's just like, okay, I don't mind paying extra as long as what I'm paying for improves my experience. But if you're going to keep going out of your way to take a little more away and a little more away and maybe allocate something in the wrong direction, then maybe I don't want to pay $500 a night for your hotel.
I can definitely see that. There's no question about that. Oh, did we lose him? Oh,
well, I just wanted to have something fun in the background, since we were talking about pretzels and all kinds of.
Sorry, I'm being Debbie Downer over here.
No, you're fine. I don't think you can even see the churros and the pretzels, but I had a fun background. I was like, you know what? Why not? We're talking Disney food snacks, and like you said, we're not going to stop buying it. Because we love this stuff. No. It's unfortunate. Now, if it gets outrageous, then obviously, you know, we'll have to reroute the decisions. And I've been eyeballing the Disney Cruise Line for a long time. I get a lot more bang for my buck. They have a lot of promotions and deals, and my eyes are leaning towards that direction rather than going to the parks. Is what I'm saying.
People don't mind paying for quality. And that's why, like, when you see something like a Michelin star restaurant, and you go, how are they getting away with charging $600 per person? Because people will pay for quality. It may not be for everybody, but there is an audience as long as they don't feel like they're getting robbed.
Right. And I think, like MJ said right there, Disney Cruise Line certainly fits that bill, I think, a little bit closer than maybe the parks currently do. And this is also why Thomas Muslim got the job, right? Just in a very similar fashion that Josh D'Amaro was made the head of the entire company from his work on experiences. It's like within that experiences unit, which really had the marketed growth that occurred within that division. Well, it's Cruise Line. Make the Cruise Line guy the head of experiences.
And we have 6 more coming out in their fleet, Vash. 6 more. Mm-hmm. And then you have Doomsday coming out at the end of the year, and then they have a whole ship dedicated to just the Marvel property. Literally, with a lounge and everything inside.
But the way that the cruise ships work, there's no reason that they can't bring that to dry land too, because it really comes down to, like, when it comes to food, the way that a cruise ship operates is you fill it with a plan. And so, like, if you have pot roast on Monday, you're having braised beef tacos on Tuesday. Like, you're maximizing your ingredients because you're thinking, you're planning, you're putting things. And you're playing chess, essentially. Like, you're planning out the moves that you're going to make instead of just like, let's just buy anything and everything and we'll charge the moon.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys
actually.
addressed this already, but BinkCon Pro at Vash,
Yes.
do you believe Josh D'Amaro will pull the plug for Disney Plus, or will he start licensing their content to other streaming services?
Yeah, so obviously I asked Gavin Shogi his opinion on it, but I didn't provide my own. So this is a really interesting question because it's multifaceted. Obviously, we went over how much debt was accrued in attempting to get streaming established for the Walt Disney Company. Right there, how much they bet on it. What you have to think about is, okay, are our long-term projections for Disney Plus's success, do they outweigh the potential revenue that we could have right now and into the future with licensing our content? I think that is the big, evaluation that the Walt Disney Company has to actually make at this point right here. I think currently Disney Plus, I believe last quarter made $750 million right there. So, okay, it's like, oh, right, well, that's not $4 billion, as Wells Fargo just said right there. That's true. But it's like, okay, well, there's a potential, though, to be $5 billion or $8 billion or whatever. I got to be honest. Like, I see Shogi right there.
If ifs and buts for candy and nuts.
I don't think that exists. Okay, I don't think this is going to be your broadcast or linear TV replacement as was established, 10, 15 years ago, right? When it was just billions and billions of dollars were coming via their cable packages, ESPN, everything like that. They want to have Disney Plus be that replacement. I just don't know if it's possible at this point. No. Your smarter bet might be to license out your content to Netflix. And you could start slow. You could start with like a brand or like Star Wars content. Let's go ahead and put that on there or something like that and see how that arrangement works.
But nobody wants any of their content.
That's a very good point. So
like they haven't provided anything that anybody wants to see on any platform ever.
Except for Bluey. Which,
but that's not theirs.
Necessarily theirs. Yes, that's the problem, right? And I showed that chart the other day. Let me see if I actually have it here, because it's such a great, fantastic chart going over. Oh man, do I have it? Let me see if I can find it here. But it was showing why people would subscribe or what people are watching when it comes to original content versus legacy, right? And the overall majority for all of these streamers, except for Netflix, but even then, Netflix only had 40% of people actually opting to subscribe or watch a particular streamer for its original content, its new content versus its old. And Disney Plus right there, I think it was like 5%, honestly. And think about, you got to understand, Disney a couple years ago, I think in 2022 and 2021, I do believe, they spent, $30 billion a year for content. Much of that going towards, streaming and content generation. We talk about $60 billion for the parks. Oh, $60 billion over 10 years. That's amazing. That's fantastic. It's only around $6 billion a year. They spent 30 on entertainment alone.
And none of this is hard. Years. None of this is actually I know the money and stuff actually gets complicated, but the amount of money that they're spending on actual physical properties they're bringing to people, just have a little bit of creativity. Like a Rocketeer and Captain America animated movie would have been a home run. It's not hard to come up with this stuff. People want to see these things. You own everything.
It's a great point. It's a fantastic point. It's why can't we leverage this effectively? Especially, I don't know if you heard this one right here. I'm going to put this on screen right about now. It was kind of remarkable to hear somebody at Disney actually say this, particularly being that it's Asad Ayaz. Variety here. The Toy Story franchise is generating $51 billion in economic activity.
Wow.
It's a vague term there, but according to a study commissioned by Disney, I'm sure, nearly $25 billion occurred in the U.S. alone. Quote, this is our number one animated franchise, says Disney Chief Brand Officer Asad Ayaz. I don't think there's many other franchises that have been embraced by audiences and critics over the course of 3 decades. People who were kids when the first movie came out are taking their own children to the new Toy Story. I
grew up on
don't
Toy Story.
Think.
Same,
Yeah, exactly.
Same. I was like, what, 10? When was the first one? 95? 1995?
This franchise convinced kids that a fork is a toy.
Hold on, we're the
that's how
inventors
strong
of
that this franchise is like their weakest movie convinced a generation of children that a fork, a spork is a toy.
Yeah, but we're
That's
the ones that drink out of a water hose, so I think we're the real G's here. Forget the fork. Forget
Lawn
the fork.
dart generation.
Yes, exactly.
I just think it's interesting that they would be highlighting or showcasing Toy Story when you do have juggernauts in the form of Marvel, Star Wars. These brands that they have acquired here, and they're going on about Toy Story. It's kind of like, would we have heard the same quote or a similar quote perhaps if Mandalorian made a lot of money at the box office this year? But unfortunately, how those, particular pieces of IP there have been nurtured or lack thereof. It creates the situation. It creates a situation that we're in, like you said, Shogi. The value that you could possibly get for these franchises, because there may be unwanted, certainly has taken a hit, and that's the problem when you have a creatively driven company where the creative seemingly doesn't exist. Now you hear a stat like that from Asad Ayaz, and it's like, okay, number one franchise, fantastic, awesome. We're the people now that created Toy Story.
Exactly.
And you go, and that might be one of the reasons why they may not have been able to duplicate Toy Story's success since 1995. When
the guy whose style I replicate is gone, so John Lasseter.
All right.
He was the heartbeat.
Who I'm talking about.
He was the heartbeat.
The Lotso character gets so much love, even though he's like a villain. He's just
Lotso was done
amazing.
dirty. Lotso was done dirty.
Why? Because they tied him up to the truck at the end of the movie.
No, because he was a villain, and the reason he became a villain was the same reason we would all become a villain. He fought through strife and peril to get back to his girl, to find out he was replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up strapped to the front of a truck.
Yeah, he did.
No wonder he was bitter. You know what? I'm bitter for Lotso. Justice for Lotso.
Justice for Lotso. Wow, that's the... I didn't know that would be coming around here, but...
Yeah, I know, right?
Is he in
He
Villains
smells like
Grove,
strawberries.
or what's going on? Is he a villain in Villains Grove, Vash?
No, I don't think he's been depicted in... he's not a villain in Villains Grove, but I do think he's been depicted at one point in Oogie Boogie Bash in some form or fashion. I can't quite remember if that's the case.
Meet and greet.
I know they have recently they have said that, or at least put out a little teaser suggesting that Yzma might be the next villain featured at Oogie Boogie Bash at Disney Cosmic Adventure.
She was here at Typhoon Lagoon, Vash, for the Yzma and Kronk Emperor's New Groove.
Kronk.
They had like a theme to Typhoon Lagoon, like nighttime special event. Did you guys hear about that? It was like last year, I think.
I would love to see a live action Kronk, though. I would love that. Would actually put a little bit of life back into Oogie Boogie Bash. Live action Kronk would be the longest line.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that would be interesting. Speaking of villains, though, it looks like we are getting villains, maybe more villains, in the form of monsters. Maybe not from Disney, but from Epic Universe right here. New attraction coming to Dark Universe at Epic Universe according to permit. Now, we've talked about this before, right? We talked about this new attraction permit that they filed some time ago. This article from May 26, 2026 there by Alicia Stella. And we've gone over, the various scale associated with this, new attraction as well. But we don't know much in the way of details, just a raw square footage for this whole thing. But Theme Park Wizard, gotta give it up to him. He actually did the digging and found out more information related to Dark Universe's new attraction coming. This is from Theme Park Wizard, July 15, 2026. Some new details on the new ride coming to Dark Universe. 3-story building. Ride is 71,000 square feet, which we've talked about before. Total building square footage is now 93,000 square feet. Also, ride maintenance bay on floor 1, and this is the first time a permit has mentioned the ride itself. So you can see right there the details included in this permit. 93,000, I do believe, with the extended, with the queue outside of Monsters Unchained currently, I think it's about right there in terms of its size. I do think the height is scaled similarly. There you go. For the first floor, please provide details for the ramp, including the slope, handrails, guardrails, and demonstrate compliance with FBC Section 1012. Exit signs are missing at 2 exit doors in the ride maintenance bay on the first floor. Please provide the required exit signage in accordance. So, ride maintenance bay, like Theme Park Wizard said before, ride is going to be an attraction that you can actually ride coming to Epic Universe. This is great stuff right here. Obviously, we've been tracking the progress on this very young park in the form of Epic Universe. Shogi, excited to ride on maybe something themed to the Bride of Frankenstein, or perhaps Creature from the Black Lagoon. What are your thoughts?
I would love to see Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's one of my actual favorites, because I actually think that one of the creepiest things you could have is water, because it's kind of like a natural foil, to humans. We need it, but we can't really exist in it. And so I think it's kind of creepy that you have like these murky waters with a monster underneath, and at any point, like an alligator, it can just pop out, but it has hands that can grab you. And I love the Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's one of my favorite monsters.
I think the Creature would be fantastic.
I think that they could do something really scary with him. And as far as the Bride of Frankenstein, I don't know too much about her outside of the novel. I know that she was the catalyst for making Frankenstein's monster lose his mind. So that could be a really cool aspect that they could do as well. Because when Frankenstein was building her in the book, and then realized that he didn't want to create 2 of these monsters and destroyed her, that's what really set off his creation into its rampage. So I think that we're seeing Frankenstein as like the innocent good force within the ride that they have currently. I would like to actually see him be a monster. Right.
Or maybe perhaps, maybe that's for the bride to take up. That's a possibility as well. I know I have speculated that maybe they want a little bit more 4-quadrant in this land, and so to highlight a female villain might actually approach that goal, maybe closer than what might be offered from Creature from Black Lagoon, but that's just me. Obviously, I'm one for Creature. Okay, I'm just describing to you guys out there why they might go in an alternative direction, or possibly why they might actually go in that direction.
I don't know, because I feel like in Monsters Unchained they highlight she's the niece of Dr. Frankenstein, right?
Victoria Frankenstein.
Yes, they highlight her.
A granddaughter,
so
I do believe, right?
Oh, the granddaughter. Thank you. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not really jumping up and down for joy about the Bride of Frankenstein, but I would definitely be excited about the Creature from the is it the Creature from the Black Lagoon? Is that what you guys said before?
Also, I think there's a hunger for like a water coaster. We keep seeing all these cool things that Japan is doing with like water-based roller coasters with tracks that exist in the water, and like there's like a Jaws ride, and there's all these. He has
a more interesting story than her, and the merch moves more than her merch.
I think there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so.
Yeah, I hope they don't go with the Bride.
We're all scared of alligators because we can't see them.
To be fair, it's Florida; they're everywhere. So
you never know what's lurking under the deep, and that intimidates humans. And I think that would actually like lean into making this area scarier.
was the whole thing about
not if you're not if for all the not Floridians.
Yeah.
That's
Well, hold on. This
true.
alligator has hands, so
That's right. It can grab you.
yeah, exactly.
It maybe in a similar fashion that you benefit from in terms of thrill and fear, like from Jaws back in the day, right? At Universal Studios Florida, right there. Jaws was fantastically ambitious attraction. I don't know if everything was conveyed as originally intended by those creatives back then, but I think this could be a Jaws for a new age kind of thing if done appropriately with that water coaster you were talking about before right there, Shogi. There's a lot of possibilities for this distinct land right here. Lord knows that Epic Universe needs a water attraction. A real water attraction. So I'm hoping that they go in the creature kind of path right there. I mean, they had numerous rumors that I had heard that they were going to go in that direction. I think they had like a in-park newspaper that suggested that they were going to go in that direction, but we'll see. But to have this permit actually move forward, especially now that Universal might be split off from Comcast, I think is a very, very good sign that we at least get that ride. Yeah. Very, very cool. Universal, though, losing a ride, actually.
Oh, no.
It's permanently glowing away forever. Shogi will get that reference. Scott Gooston right here. Fast and Furious Supercharged at Universal Studios Florida will permanently close in August. The last day to experience the attraction is August 16th. I wasn't the biggest Supercharged fan. There's no question. Now, my experience comes from mainly the pull-through at Universal Studios Hollywood that Supercharged was modeled from for Universal Studios Florida. Now, the pull-through is already gone at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's been gone for a little while. We were all kind of waiting, though, what is going to ultimately happen with Supercharged in Universal Studios Florida? Because I think it goes down around August and then comes back after the holidays have concluded, I do believe, something like that. It's like a seasonal operation for that attraction right there. Obviously, it's a place to beat the heat, but not much else. And so I'm not super surprised this is glowing away forever. No. I am a little surprised that this goes away.
It was awful. Awful ride. Terrible. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money going in there. Don't buy Express for that ride is what I'm saying.
My sister called it paper dolls because when they're on screen, they're so two-dimensional.
Yeah, it's like Inside Out Part 2 when they go in through the two-dimensional thing to get on the train to get back to the headquarters. It's awful. Don't waste your time.
It's so bad. It was so bad. This looks fine, but when they present it on screen, it almost feels like you're supposed to have 3D glasses, but it's just hollow and empty and weird.
I think you did get 3D glasses distributed for this attraction right there, but like you said, Shoki, it still feels flat.
I missed out on that one.
Yeah, it doesn't. The experience doesn't get necessarily better.
I don't remember the glasses.
Well,
I don't remember
pull-through. For the pull-through for Universal Studios Hollywood, they did, because remember, you already get glasses distributed for Kong, or at least you did before, right? Before its new 2D update right there. So it was kind of like...
Yeah. That's how unmemorable this ride is.
Right, so if you hit Kong earlier in the circuit of the studio tour, then it's like, okay, we'll just keep those glasses, and then you can use them for Fast and Furious. I think that was the mindset right there, which is why it was originally built with 3D. Again, very familiar with the Hollywood version. I know Supercharged had a couple of things, especially that very interesting pre-show that even team members themselves poke fun of, which is quite funny. And
is this
we remember
really
hearing
Vin Diesel? I'm so sorry.
It is Vin Diesel, yeah.
Is this a stunt dummy? Oh my gosh.
No, it's Vin
Diesel flying around.
Vin, he did it, which is quite surprising right there. Also,
he's already doing more stunts than Superman.
The Rock, famously, they brought him back in order to film sequences for this specific attraction right there. I do believe he did a lot of the pre-show elements for the studio tour. So those video segments that you actually see for the tour, highlighting this attraction coming up right here. He did some stuff for that. But alas, even with that star power, you couldn't necessarily pull off a great attraction. It was not that great a pull through. I am shocked that they would translate it 1-to-1 for Universal Studios Florida. That just didn't.
I can't
sit
imagine
well with
waiting
me.
in line for this. I can't imagine. Like, see, it's different for us because we like got it as part of our tour. I can't imagine waiting in line just for this.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And the fact that the Fast and Furious attractions that we've gotten over the years, I'll include the other pull through for Tokyo Drift right there. That was really something as well. look in the history archives for that one. It's just a couple of dancing cars and Kuka arms. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
I will say they do have an opportunity here though, where they could actually like this could be The Room, like the movie The Room. In a few years after everyone forgets about it, they could bring it back in like in a silly capacity, not as a ride, but as like merchandise and maybe like some kind of presence for them to like play and kind of rib themselves.
You're breaking my heart, family. That one of those.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
right there. Instead of throwing spoons at the.
What?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
To,
Oh, hi, Mark,
to be fair, the queue line for this ride is pretty cool. Other than that,
right.
It's just
So
forget it. Yeah.
I think the queue, right? I think it will be significantly. Okay, so let's back up a second right here because the question becomes why are they doing this now? Now, obviously, Hollywood Drift is coming to Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Studios Florida, right? And they had a promotion for the Spike, right? That just was recently installed and finished up at the Universal Studios Florida version of this attraction right there. This is coming. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, why would you get rid of Supercharged now when it's still going to take maybe a couple of years until we can actually ride on Universal Studios Florida's version of this Hollywood Drift coaster right there? I think MJ, I think they're taking this down now, well, partially because seasonal, but the other part too, maybe to start work on its replacement early. Is that a possibility?
Yay, that's all I have to say is yay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so exciting.
Well,
and I even posted on X when they announced that what is the last day to ride this thing? The 24th of
August 14th, I believe.
14th?
Is that right?
I posted,
August 16th.
And I was very honest. I said, bye-bye. And I got a lot of likes on that, and people are just ready to say goodbye to it.
People are not going to be singing the Carousel of Progress song for this one.
Oh no, they will not. There will not be an anthem sang in front of this building.
No.
If you
except na 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 na.
Yeah.
No, 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 no.
I expected a bunch of muscular guys and wife beaters and, singing family there,
eating tuna sandwiches
there.
Oh
Exactly.
Tuna sandwich. Oh my, you're giving Universal ideas because they're going to need snack items for this new attraction coming up right now.
I think they do have a tuna sandwich for the new ride opening in Hollywood.
We got to come up with when does Fast and the Furious have its grand debut, Vash, in Universal?
In Hollywood?
Well, Hollywood or Florida, whichever.
Well,
comes first.
Florida's a little ways off. It's at least off by a year, I do believe. But for Hollywood, that's kind of where I wanted to shift this discussion a little bit because obviously we read that write-up by Theme Park Wizard did an excellent job cataloging. Hey, that broken glass we were talking about before. Remember, I was telling everybody that's kind of a big deal right there, potentially. Well, it wasn't a bird strike. It apparently came from the cars themselves that may have actually impacted that glass and broke it. And this is the other thing. For the last 11 days or so, they have not been testing this coaster at Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, you would think that, we would be in the grand testing period in order to get this thing ready here.
Soft opening.
We heard, I first heard, early summer or late spring, then it was late summer, now it's, wherever.
Yeah.
And a Wizard is saying maybe August, and it's kind of like, okay, well, we still don't have an opening date. They still have problems. Now with no testing actually being conducted, it's like, okay, maybe, we're in this for the long haul here. I'm thinking perhaps, because Wizard actually pointed out on his website post there, that they were in the process of rebuilding these cars, entirely in order to ensure that everything actually mounted on them stays on there. That it's not subject to vibration. You're not going to have things flying off or whatever. I think that's what's going on right now, which is why they're not testing.
I'm okay
Are they
with that.
running? Are they running into like the knots problem where everything has to be out of your pockets, and so it just kind of increases
Well, no,
the ride wait time kind of thing?
So you do pass through metal detectors, and this has been part of Universal's MO ever since the Dueling Dragons incident. I do believe the second time, actually, a phone actually flew out and hit a guy. And unfortunately, he was blind in one eye, and it took out his good eye. It was terrible. After that point, it was like, okay, metal detectors on every single coaster. There's no question about it. And the dueling aspect for Dueling Dragons was removed, unfortunately. And then, obviously, it gets replaced with Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, which still has this kind of, everything out of your pockets kind of mentality there. The Universal's taking with all their coasters. For Universal Studios Hollywood's version of this, it'll be the first time that a coaster actually mandates that you go through metal detectors and ensures that nothing is in your pockets. It's not the personal possessions things that is the issue. It is things coming off from the coaster cars themselves, which is a huge concern right there. I believe spoiler was the thing suggested by Theme Park Wizard, and we actually do have photos of a I believe it's let me think. It's the Toyota Supra, I do believe, or the Supra at the end there.
You are correct. It's the Toyota Supra.
Yeah, it's essentially Brian's car from the first film, right?
Let me ask an expert, aka Hubby, because that's his favorite film. This is his franchise. This franchise belongs to him.
I think it's a Supra that is there with that with the basically the orange car at the very end of the train right there that has the spoiler.
Okay.
We saw some photos, and Wizard I know forwarded them to me, and I'll try to get them to you guys here, but the spoiler was removed.
So this ride is so intense that it's actually like ripping the vehicles apart.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, well,
we don't want another
probably
Stardust situation. I'd rather than rip the whole thing apart and do this properly and wait.
Honestly, like
Stardust,
if you haven't, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, if you haven't seen this thing in person, like this is actually really more ambitious than the videos do justice, because it's on a hill. It's on the steepest hillside you've ever seen, and it goes over an escalator, and there's like no space for this thing, and they made it work.
And they made it work, yeah. And the scale of this
is insanely ambitious,
phenomenally large. Like it's okay when you see it in video, it just does not replicate the scale of this thing. This thing is massive. It's all around you. It's incredible. This thing is extremely ambitious right there. And so they can't have an incident connected to this. Like a Stardust. I will say Stardust, that was a completely different issue. The ride did function as it was supposed to. It's just unfortunately, I mean, we're still waiting for the incident report on that, but it would appear that guest probably shouldn't have been on that attraction. It's a horrible incident, and it's a horrible thing that happened right there. But these are the dangers, right, with pushing the boundaries in some of these coasters right here. Obviously, they want to minimize potential issues on the back end. Now, if they're in the process of, deconstructing these things and then reconstructing them, the problem with that is that, well, now that testing period that, has been gestating for the last couple of months might need to get restarted again. So that's the other kind of issue. Right, and we'll hopefully,
but that's okay. I'd rather wait for something grandiose. I love that they're so ambitious. The company's not short. They're not doing any shortcuts. They're making sure that they check everything from A to Z before they start boarding guests on, and they want you to have the utmost amazing experience and feel like you waited all this time and get off of this ride, and it lives on in your memory. If you don't do it again, is what I'm saying.
Right. And the hope, right, is that whatever comes out of all of this will finally allow for people, not to have to worry about anything, Universal not have to worry about anything, really showcasing this attraction for what it is, which is awesome, and not a technically, defunct or technically issue-prone coaster like, Hagrid's really had that reputation in the early days of its existence, right? I mean, it was just plagued with issues, plagued with problems. Obviously, they want something that is, reliable, as reliable as an Intamin coaster can be. So it's really tough. Obviously, all these changes, right, will be day one for version 2 at Universal Studios Florida. They won't have the same issues because obviously all the modifications that they're making, they're going to be documenting, and then, that's going to be in the development from day one process of that coaster. Mm-hmm. So I think Universal Studios Florida will open up just fine. Comes to Hollywood, we might be waiting a little bit longer time for this, which is really unfortunate. I know that Hollywood Horror Nights tickets even said they're going to get access to this coaster. Whether or not they're going to make that date, it doesn't sound like they will. So that's another issue that they might have on their hands. We're keeping track of this thing for sure. I think the turning thing that I think Alan from Money Coasters was talking about right there, the turning element not being consistent, that may have been resolved. So at least you won't have to you won't have to do the whole testing period, right? All those modifications have been made, and so it should be shortened. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm keeping close track of this because, boy, oh boy, do I want to ride this thing. I think it's going to be awesome.
And if you're not following Alan on social, you should. He is,
oh my goodness, yeah,
and a wealth of knowledge when it comes to coasters.
I gotta say though, like where Universal is actually like winning people over by delaying this and figuring it out is like when you see this thing moving. This is so complicated. Like your car is moving against gravity and momentum, but meanwhile, Disney can't get Tiana's arms to move.
That's true. That's a good point right there. And yeah, I think Coaster Key24 actually had an update on Tiana's recently, and nothing's really changed there.
No, I was just on it. I wrote it twice, and all 3 of them were broken.
They were all
the one going up the hill looked like she was hit by Petrificus totalis, and I was like, "Oh, this is the wrong part."
And then who was that live streamer that was sitting behind you that captured all that? I forget who.
That was Disney Secret Kingdom. They're a great group of kids.
It was like, what is happening here? I thought you were going to have a great experience.
Oh, I got soaked. Like, but that's so the thing is like Disneyland is actually compensating for all of that by upping the water, but it is still noticeable that like these things still don't move. Meanwhile, Universal is turning cars against the way that they're supposed to be moving.
Yes.
And that's probably, that's for sure why they're falling apart is because they're really pushing the boundaries of physics here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how ambitious these new
no, these are not ambitious.
Are. But to your point, right? So Fast and Furious, it's a whole another animal right there. Just the scale of it alone is just massive. It's absolutely extraordinary, and they have to make up for maybe not having audio animatronics in that attraction. So it's going to be coming down to straight thrills alone. I do think it's going to be a fantastic coaster. I think it's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
But the Intamin is very ambitious, and well, sometimes they get ahead of that a little bit right there.
Yeah.
Big news though. D23 Expo is coming. Oh, sorry. D23, the ultimate fan event. Yay. Okay. That is obviously going to be taking place August 15th and 16th right there of 2026, August of this year. People are, they're hyped about it. They're sending out all kinds of promotional materials related to it. Everybody's very, very excited to maybe see the Jonas Brothers or Neil Patrick Harris actually take the stage there for the Experiences showcase, which is very, very interesting. In fact, we got a little bit more information on all of this. The Ultimate Fan Event will feature the largest Walt Disney Imagineering Pavilion in D23 history. This, according to Drew Disney Dude. I saw it in various other places there. So I would say accurate. The pavilion will give fans an up-close look at the people, the process, and the possibilities brought to life by the Imagineers. For the Experiences Showcase itself, I do believe, let me see if I can actually get this, Horizons. Okay. Join host Neil Patrick Harris for a journey into the stories shaping the future of Disney experiences around the world. Building on the ambitious projects announced in 2024, this year's showcase will take fans deeper into the greater vision behind what's to come. Okay. keywords there. Building on what they already announced. Deeper insight into what they're doing. Okay. Hearing directly from the Imagineers, storytellers, artists, and innovators, bringing these experiences to life, inspired by the Carousel of Progress, Neil will guide the show and lead engaging conversations with the people creating the future for Disney experiences, complete with behind-the-scenes looks, special performances, exciting announcements, and a few surprises along the way. This, to me, guys, sounds like we're not getting anything new. It's just going to be deep diving into what's already been established. So people are like, oh, what's your predictions for D23? It's like more of the same. More of what we've already heard about. More about, maybe perhaps some stuff that's, rumored to be happening, like Space Mountain, for example, right? I think that is something that could be one of those few surprises along the way, as they mentioned there in that D23 post. I also think that we hear maybe like Avatar certainly coming to Disney California Adventure, for example. I think they kind of double down on that, maybe show more artwork related to that. I know Shogi's like, I don't know. I've heard that they're still going forward with it, but I guess we'll know at D23 Expo. That might be a story that they want to get ahead of. Maybe some more Coco, maybe an animatronic, showing projection faces or something like that. I'm not sure. Most likely, though, Shogi, maybe you can back me up here or disagree. When it comes to Disneyland, I think they're really going to be focusing on Marvel heavily, right? That is the thing closest to actually opening. That's the thing that has the most development. We've seen already video from that a little bit. I think they really focus on that when it comes to the entire resort. Agree, disagree?
Avengers ride in person, it's massive. Yeah. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I hope they actually deliver on it. I just want a good ride. But whatever they're doing is massive. And so
it is.
They're putting a lot of, and they're putting it up quick. Like
very fast. Yeah.
Considering that Tron took like 6 years to open, like this thing is flying. And so I think you're right. I think they're going to actually really focus very heavily on trying to monetize the Marvel Disneyland community, because Disneyland is where they're getting their money. And so they really want, especially like you were saying earlier, where everything in Disney World is walls. It's Walt Disney World. And so everyone is kind of passing there and going to Disneyland at the moment. And there's no real clean future on them taking those walls down anytime soon. So I think they're really pushing to get Disneyland bumping.
I think so. I mean, yes and no, right? I think they're really trying to get Avengers going, because obviously the if in fact Doomsday doesn't work out, that iron is cooling rapidly right there.
Yes.
Strike while the iron's hot kind of thing. So I think they really want to front load that. Avengers Campus certainly needs something, because I mean, Spider-Man
was just, what a waste.
It's just terrible, right?
You got Spider-Man, and that's what you did. Spider-Man, the biggest Marvel character ever, the only one that actually still brings in consistent billions of dollars, and this is the Spider-Man that you give people.
Well, that's the weird thing about that too, is because even with a more ambitious attraction, they still just went outdoor coaster for Spider-Man at Shanghai. And it's kind of like, wow, you have the most recognizable character in all comics, certainly Marvel. And it's like, why would you go this route with this character? Very bizarre, very strange thinking right there.
It should have been their Rise of the Resistance. It should have been their Pièce de Résistance.
Of course,
for Marvel. Like this is the guy. This is Spider-Man. Like,
yeah.
You would think. Rabbits and Reels coming in here with this comment. Oh, well, I can accept Avatar, but dang, I wanted a Zootopia ride. We all wanted a Zootopia ride. We all wanted Zootopia to come to Disney California Adventure. I look, I'm not opposed to Avatar making its way to Disneyland Resort. I just don't think it's in the right spot.
No.
I think and that might limit the amount of ambition that we actually see from that experience right there. To your point, Shogi, I think when it comes to Avatar and other aspects of Disneyland Forward, I think they're a little bit slow in getting those things out for whatever reason. Not sure what it is.
Something that's cooling off quick. Avatar is ice cold.
Ice cold, that's for sure. So it will be very interesting to see them double down at D23 Expo. We believe that they are, but we'll see on all things
So
Avatar.
I got some intel for you guys.
Please.
If you still care to rewind a little bit for the Fast and Furious. So there were 2 cars. Brian had a Mitsubishi Eclipse and then the Toyota Supra. But I don't know if this particular attraction is going to even incorporate an Eclipse.
The Supra is the one at the end there. It's the second car.
Yeah, who doesn't want that car, right?
Fast and Furious. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's a fantastic vehicle. I do agree with that, but I do appreciate your clarification right there.
Oh yeah.
Coming back to the experiences showcase here, Coco. Okay, speaking of cars. Oh, there you go. But when it comes to like what they're doing here in Disneyland Resort, Coco is interesting because we've seen its development in a sidewalk next to Pixar Pier or whatever. Very interesting. I'm wanting to see more from that side, particularly. We don't quite know a lot there. We don't know how large this thing is. We don't know quite what the exterior of this thing is going to look like. I've got questions, okay, and I need some answers regarding that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be front loaded with Avengers, then maybe a little Coco, tiny bit of Avatar, and that's going to be all of Disneyland. I don't think much more in the way of anything more is coming there. Certainly they could do, I think Vixen has said this before actually, how they might actually take one of their prototype vehicles that they've been working on for Autopia. It's electric replacement there, right? And showcase that. I think that is very likely. Beyond that, though, I do agree with OG55 when he says this. It's going to be a lot of Walt Disney World. They're even mentioning Carousel of Progress in that post. It's going to be all Walt Disney World. I think we do learn more information about Carousel of Progress. I think we do learn more information about maybe perhaps Space Mountain, certainly more on Cars, maybe a little Villains thrown in there. I don't expect much, though. I think they go maybe bigger when it comes to Indiana Jones there and Disney's Animal Kingdom. We know that timeline's been extended a little bit, but it's closer to us than Villains. We know that for a fact. And Kanto, I think we learn a little bit more about that. Monsters Inc. for sure. That is coming up quite quickly. So those projects right there, that's going to be the focus. That's going to be the emphasis. That's what they're going to show investors, shareholders. Look at what we're spending $60 billion on. I think that's why Neil Patrick Harris is actually doing it right there. Thomas Muslim, they want a good showcase to show the world. This is why you need to come back to Walt Disney World for 2027, 8, 9, etc.
Here's the question of the hour. I don't even know how you gentlemen are going to attack this, because you were just at Disneyland, Shogi, and then I frequently visit Walt Disney World, and Vash is the expert on all the things Disney worldwide, actually. So BankCon Pro, well, you are the historian. When will the walls come down at Walt Disney World? I mean, that is a very large question.
It's a very large question.
Could be 2 years, could be 20.
All walls never come down now.
Exactly.
But in that question, it's kind of which walls, right? And so I think for Magic Kingdom, I think walls actually go up around Space Mountain.
That'll be the last ones to come down.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, I think Cars, those walls probably come down 2028, 2029, thereabouts, right? I think Indiana Jones's walls come down sometime in 2027. I think the walls around Encanto come down around 2028, thereabouts. Maybe perhaps a similar timeline for Monsters. That's kind of what I'm thinking right there. But the walls are going to be up for a while. And, for Magic Kingdom, especially, Rivers of America, it sucks to, at one point be looking at this grand vista, right, featuring the Liberty Bell and all of this water, and it's great, it's beautiful, and now you're going to have walls, and for the next couple of years, but that's the way it's going to be. So it's tough.
Isn't the Rivers of America, like, I think the most progress I've seen online is like, hey, they added a concrete wall. It's like, oh, cool. They put a wall behind the wall. Good job, guys.
Wow.
And some of those walls have doors. It's like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. But
I don't think those are coming down anytime soon.
No, I don't. Vash, am I crazy? But do you think Monstropolis is going to be done before Tropical Americas? I say so. I think because they're repurposing the buildings. I'm just saying. I think.
Well, but Tropical Americas though is repurposing a lot of its structures as well. I think Encanto opens up actually sooner than Monsters does, because Monsters is still in the. They haven't fully enclosed their building, right, out there at Disney's Hollywood Studios for Monsters, but I think Encanto has been fully enclosed. I think they're actually on exterior work for mountains and so forth for that whole thing.
I gotta check on that. So I haven't seen that.
I'm pretty sure Encanto opens just building alone, but again, coaster's different from Dark Ride, so
yeah, a smudge earlier than Monstropolis. And then Piston Peak and Villain's Land are gonna be like way far out.
I kind of feel like they still don't even really know what they're doing for Cars. I kind of feel like, you know how they've been writing movies as they film them? I kind of feel like they're doing that with this ride, because this has been such a backlash that if they actually had a real plan, I feel like they would have been like, this is exactly what it's going to be, guys. We promise this is going to be awesome. But we haven't heard anything.
We haven't heard much. I will say, though, when it comes to Cars versus Villain's Land, we've only gotten one piece of concept art. Cars, they've been like, hey, here's all this concept art. Here are some of the ride technologies that we're actually working on. And, here's a map of the whole thing. I do think when comparing the two, Cars much more fleshed out than Villains. But you're right? I think they're still working some things out. Obviously, we haven't had any update on the second ride that's supposedly supposed to be there. 4.5 acres, not a lot. And certainly, if you're looking for a Cars Land type experience from Disney California Adventure to be transferred to Walt Disney World, it's just not going to happen, right? It's just not. Like, that's like, don't
just throw
set expectations
Luigi in there.
Exactly. You might see Lightning McQueen, you might see Mater. Beyond that, though, you're not going to get Cadillac Range. You're not going to get that sweeping rockwork that California Adventure currently benefits from. You're not going to see cars racing out there. They're going to be on some dirt track right there, moving at a much slower pace. But I wouldn't expect any of the ambition that we saw with the 2012 opening of Cars Land, which is most unfortunate. One of the reasons, too, why they moved it from a race type of adventure that you see over at River Springs at Disneyland versus what they're doing at Walt Disney World, because of that smaller footprint. The only way to allow for a lengthy experience is to slow it down, right? Because the faster you go, in order to maintain that time, you need a lot of room, and that's kind of one of the reasons why they're shifting on that. Villain's Land, though, I agree with you, Shogi, on that portion. They're figuring it out. It's constant state of flux. I think it's constantly shifting. It's constantly like they're working it out as they go. I think we get a couple more pieces of concept art, but not much. If people are waiting for Villain's Land, wait longer, because the company still, I don't think they have really a good, clear mind as to what they're going to do there just yet.
As far as
D23, I agree with that because no, it's okay. I was just thinking about what he was saying with Villain's Land. Like, I was thinking, because they would want to incorporate Villain's Land with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties. So you would think they would be, not rushing it, but working quick enough to get those ticketed event sales up, because it hasn't been doing well. They don't really sell out. The Christmas party at Magic Kingdom sells out very, very quickly, but not Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween and Oogie Boogie. I don't think that's been selling out. I don't think so. I'm gonna check on the ticket prices, but it's moving slowly.
Yeah, so Mickey's Not So Scary. Those tickets certainly don't sell as fast as Very Merry Christmas Party. I do think they sell quite a few of them, at least by the time the event night hits. But you're right, though. I mean, in terms of Mickey's Not So Scary, the event has gotten a little stale over the years, right? Villain's Land would definitely be a shot of the arm, but I don't think they're looking at it quite like that. I think because of the scale of this project and because of where it's positioned and all of that, I that's going to be the last to open, when looking at the totality of all of these projects. And I think they're okay with that because obviously there's going to be a lot of capital shifted that direction. So I don't know. I mean, some of this stuff. Go ahead, please.
Do you think that, like, I was looking that you had that footage of the Monsters Inc. ride. Do you think that's just going to be a Tron Coaster 2.0? You think that's just going to be another like minute and a half ride?
So I've seen the layout, and when looking at the speeds of it, and when looking at the size of the building, it might be a shorter one. Hollywood Drift may open in 2027 in Hollywood and Orlando. Oh, that's no good. See, this is the kind of stuff we were talking about right here. Oh, well, now that's not good.
We can plan ahead of time, Shogi, for the meal of the month when that ride comes out.
Yeah.
Tuna sandwiches for all and Vin Diesel face pretzels for everybody.
It'll be the easiest one I'll have to do.
No, yeah, literally.
Tuna sandwiches. That was a reference in the very first one, almost the very first scene. Oh, my goodness.
That's my favorite one, by the way. Sorry.
Tuna on white.
Of course, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. With the, I think the crust cut off, I think.
Yeah.
It's fantastic right there. Yeah, excessive wear and tear. But that might, obviously, has caused damage. That's the thing there, Wizard. We saw actually a similar thing happen with Test Track when it was being developed as a replacement to World of Motion over there in Epcot back in the late 1990s. It was supposed to open, I believe, 1997, 1998, and then was pushed back to 1999 because of excessive wear and tear, because of those tires and everything else. Sometimes you don't know how these things will actually react until you build them. And so Intamin, Universal finding that out. Maybe Disney finds that out as well when it comes to, I don't know, their new Cars ride, right? I say that they want that thing open sooner than Villains, but it might be that Cars ride opens and it's like, oh, goodness gracious, we can't have this open like this. They work on it, and now we're on similar timelines of Villains Land. That could easily happen. We just don't know. Simpsons 2 may close soon.
Thank the gods of Lost Continent. Please. I'm so happy to see the Simpsons go. I can't stand them.
Remember, it's Wizard, though. Wizard's a little bit more Hollywood focused. Is that Hollywood's version of Simpsons, or is that Universal Studios Florida version of Simpsons? It matters to the panel, Wizard. But yeah, that's. Ooh, there's some stuff right there. What was I gonna say? Space Mountain, though. I think see, Wizard in Hollywood, Simpsons might close. So. That's the key thing there, and it makes
womp,
sense.
MJ, womp womp.
Expand Harry Potter.
The
Hollywood wants more Harry Potter.
He's letting me know it's gonna stick around for a while. Boo.
The reason why, right? Was saying that is because think about it. Hollywood, they are like landlocked. Everything has to be 100% there, right? Whereas Universal Studios Florida, you can allow for Simpsons to go on a few more years as development of projects at that resort right there. But Space Mountain, right? I think Space Mountain, when it goes down, it's going to go down for a number of years if, in fact, they do get a retrack and everything else that we're thinking that they're going to get. That's, like I was saying before, counter-programming, perhaps, for Cars or Villains or something else. They got to start getting that down now, and that's why I think we're hearing rumors for that right there. So a lot of things being moved around, shifted around at Walt Disney World, and maybe even at Disneyland there. But if people are excited about Disneyland Forward or other big announcements, I just don't think those things are coming. At most, maybe a dragon, but we will see how ambitious Disney ultimately is. All right,
we need a dragon. That Maleficent on that platform is terrible. When I saw it last week, I'd never seen it in person before. I saw it last week and I was just like, what is this? It feels like Rita Repulsa more than it feels like Maleficent.
I know. It's really terrible. Phantasmic itself. Well, we need a Phantasmic overhaul at this point. It's not just a dragon. I know. I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure that is really not doing well.
Bring back TikTok. Actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's my croc?
TikTok the crocodile. You're right. Yeah, we don't have TikTok actually in Phantasmic anymore, even though they brought back the Peter Pan scene, which is a win for sure. We also don't have the lift that Mickey used to rise up in anymore. That was damaged actually when the dragon met its flame-filled end right there. So that's no good. We need an overhaul. We need an overhaul of Fantasmic. Everything will be right with the world after that. And could we at least get something in the Hyperion? Now, I will say, if they announce a new Hyperion show, whoa, that will do major with the fans. I would love a new People Mover. I'd love a new fireworks show. I love new all this stuff. A Hyperion show, though, that would be major. So
California Adventure needs it. It doesn't just want it. It needs it. There's not enough there for the amount of crowds that they bring into that park.
Absolutely.
It's starving for something to be in that space.
Absolutely. 100% agree. It's just when you look at the issue with DCA right now, it is, and Walt Disneyland alone, capacity, the amount of people that you can actually bring into these parks is somewhat predicated on how much entertainment you can provide, right? So when you lose a 2,000 seat theater multiple times a day, it does affect your overall, experience, whether it's trying to get on your favorite coaster or whatever, like Incredicoaster out there, or just having something to do in the midday. How many people that can actually get make a reservation and get into that park? All of that's predicated on that Hyperion Theater. O2RR coming in here though, awesome stuff with the $199. Thank you so much, MJ, for bringing that up. Panel, what is your favorite dragon in How to Train Your Dragon? Interesting.
Toothless for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hate to be the basic one here, but I love Toothless. He reminds me of all the pets that I've had in the past. He's a little sweetheart.
Yes.
So point of caution right here for the people listening. I've only seen the first one, and I've seen the live action, but I have not seen 2 and 3.
That's good enough. Yeah,
I think so, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I would say my second favorite dragon would be the one, I don't know what it's called, but my second favorite would be the one that is protective of Hiccup's mom.
Oh yeah, the big one.
Yeah, I think it's in the show. It has like the red eyebrow things that come up.
Well, now Vash has to watch the second one. But Vash, which one is your favorite dragon?
I'm gonna go with Hiccup as well. I love that dragon so much. I mean, it definitely captured my heart when I saw, the original as a kid right there. I was like, this is so cool. This is so awesome. Yeah. Maybe I wasn't fully a kid. Maybe I was like a teenager or something. But I still loved Hiccup. It's so cool. Like Chogi said, reminds me like of my pets, like my cats right there that I've had in various. It's great stuff. It's fantastic. So
well, Hiccup was the lead character, so Toothless is your favorite dragon as well. So O2, we all love Toothless.
Oh, sorry. Dragon.
Yes,
Toothless.
It's okay.
Yep. You're right. Yep. See?
You're fine.
Okay. I will take the flack, Chet. I will take the flack.
Although I do like the one that I don't remember his name because all their names are so funky, but like his chubbier friend rides the one that just crashes into everything. I love that one too.
Doesn't it have the 2 heads, or is that tough?
Oh no, he has like the big blunt tail that is kind of like a Stegosaurus type thing, but it's just like a big dummy and it just crashes into everything all the time.
Let's incorporate some of these storybook sorceress. I love the light furry. She is the light fury. That's his girlfriend. That's Toothless's girlfriend. Yay. And then they get married and have babies. And we can continue with our segment.
Yeah, well, it's how could you not love these little guys right here, right? They're so cute. They're so cute.
They sell them at Epic in Isle of Burke. You can actually buy them. That's true. The plushies, they're so cute. And how well themed is that area in Epic?
It's so
phenomenal,
good.
Right? It's like we haven't
all
been.
3 of those movies are perfect.
Yeah. Neither one of us have been yet, right? You haven't been to Epic yet,
no.
Shoki?
There's 3 Kung Fu Panda movies and there's 3 How to Train Your Dragon movies, and that's it. Those movies are perfect.
They're perfect. Yes.
Isle of Burke is so
good. O2RR. That's Meat Lug, ridden by fish legs. He crashes into everything.
Oh, yes. He's so adorable. It's just because you get like it's memorable characters that you can fall in love with, and that's what Disney needs to start doing again.
Yeah,
like they used to. Their classics
lands need to be timeless, and Avatar is not timeless.
We still hone in on their classics. For heaven's sake, your YouTube channel, Cabbages and Kings, a classic. Alice in Wonderland. I don't understand how it cannot be that difficult to be able to bring new, fresh characters that are memorable, that you can relate to, that you fall in love with. I just don't understand it. I don't.
I think that the people who are working on this stuff at Disney are excited to be working for Disney, but I don't think they like Disney.
Like, we have Erica and Raph.
Yeah,
I have
true.
a niece who obsessed with How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, it's a great movie franchise. The three of them were executed beautifully. The one that stuck to me the most was when he found his mom and discovered her, and he realized that they share the same passion of loving and sharing the dragons and understanding them instead of killing them all, you know. I think
and then she thought her husband was going to be furious, and he was just excited to see his wife again.
I love that so very much. I mean, he's in love with his wife. He'll ride or die for his wife. That's the way it should be. That's beautiful and healthy for kids to see that.
Yeah, you know? That's great. That's great storytelling. That's character development and growth.
Yes.
And one thing is about those movies is Bernard Butler was going through a really difficult time, and they still let him complete his story. Yes. They didn't replace him.
I love that. And he's one of my top favorite actors. I love Gerard. Anything he does is excellent. I mean, even his action movies that he does, you know, where he plays like he's a CIA or whatever. He's just an excellent actor.
He's a presence.
He's the perfect stoic.
Every time he's on screen, whether it's his voice or him in person, he draws attention. He's a presence.
Yes, absolutely. And we're done talking about How to Train Your Dragon. We're gonna get.
We might not be done talking about DreamWorks movies because Roberts and Reels coming in here. What is your favorite DreamWorks movie? Mine is Prince of Egypt. Ambitious.
Okay,
it's a great movie.
All right, go ahead with your favorite DreamWorks, guys, and I'll let you know what's mine at the end.
I think mine is going to be How to Train Your Dragon, just because it's just, you know, obviously saw it as a teenager. It was amazing film right there. Definitely gave me the feels for sure. And, you know, I saw the live action as well. I mean, that's got to be my favorite. I know people are a fan of like ants. People are a fan of Shrek. People are a fan of all, you know, Kung Fu Panda, all these things. I think How to Train Your Dragon is my favorite one, and maybe Epic recognized that one, actually picking out its lands. Go ahead, Shoki.
Oh, Kung Fu Panda 2, the second one. I love that movie.
That's such a good one.
The character development in that movie is flawless because it shows you how to move past mental strife.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. And the character Poe, he's so awesome how he like incorporates both love for both of his dads. He has two dads. What was the one? A stork, a bird, and
that's three. That's three.
Yeah. Oh, that's Kung Fu Panda Part 3. I thought it was in 2 where he discovers his real dad.
Yeah, that's 3 is when he finds his. But that's also a phenomenal movie. But I love 2. I love
this
2.
is going to be really easy for everybody. My favorite DreamWorks movie involves exactly what I was born to do. Dead silence. We don't have dead air around here, guys.
I'm trying to think of it. Like there's so many. I'm like,
the movie Sing.
Sing.
I forgot that was a DreamWorks movie.
It is, and it's. I will literally sing the whole thing, sing 1 and 2, and they don't play it around here anymore because of that. So yeah,
I love when the mouse does the Seth MacFarlane's mouse sings "My Way" is a phenomenal scene.
Oh my god, it's just perfectly done the way that Matthew McConaughey has a koala. I mean, this whole entire movie.
Guys.
Don't
mean to correct you, MJ. Sing is Illumination.
Is it Illumination? It's not
that's
DreamWorks.
what I thought. I was like, I just looked at the list. I didn't see Sing on there. There was that moment when Illumination was doing some other stuff.
Yeah,
it's
all right. You got me there. Well, I'm
motto.
not...
They're both universal properties.
Yeah. There you go.
Six in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Well, without Sing, MJ, now what is your favorite DreamWorks?
Oh man, it's probably gonna have to be Shrek. I like Shrek a lot. Like
Shrek 1 or 2.
For me, the original, the first one.
All right. Yeah. I actually like 2 better because we get Puss in Boots.
Oh,
That's true.
I know you like, because you have cats, but
I have an orange cat who's very sassy, so
I don't care for cats, so I'm gonna go with the first one. Sorry.
All right, I gotta
I'm
go.
allergic to cats. You know, I thought I told you that. I'm allergic to cats.
Well, now entire chat knows. Wild Robot actually coming in here as one of the favorites, of at least one person right there.
That one
Very,
made me
very
cry.
cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Wild Robot is good stuff. Sequel actually in development right now, which is very, very cool. Also,
boy.
too, sort of a sorceress coming in here. Isn't there some type of show at the Hyperion for Oogie Boogie? No, there is not. Right now for Oogie Boogie,
Nightmare Before Christmas would be brilliant in that
it
theater.
would be amazing, right?
think.
That's why, Shogi, they're never going to do it.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what?
It's too
Right.
good.
Because it's too good.
You're right.
Dang it. Yeah, but it would be super cool. The problem though is that that event is so short. Just to load that theater is a lengthy process. It takes like 30 minutes to load it, like 10 minutes to unload it. It's, it just doesn't turn people over. That's why, you really have to have a sizable production in there. And it really takes commitment from the company standpoint to do that. Yeah, no Hyperion show, no World of Color. So people were thinking, maybe like a World of Color to make up for the loss of the parade this year because of construction. No, they're going to have a cavalcade themed around Haunted Mansion. So that's what they're doing right now. So
they don't have a good track record with those cavalcades.
They do not. They do not indeed.
Whew.
That just about concludes our show, though, guys.
Sorry, we broke off that
yes.
there.
I apologize for that, but Eric and Raph is right there with me. We like them. We're just allergic to them. But I will cat sit for my daughter, who travels all the time and drops off the dog and the cat. And I'm like, okay, I'll be the grandma. I'll watch all the animals and take 100 Zyrtex. And it just happens. I don't have a choice. Those are my grand dog and granddog.
On your nose.
Yeah, all of that. I'm like doing the job.
Yeah.
No clothespins necessary for Cabbages and Kings, though. Shogi, where can people find you?
So I started a new YouTube channel called Cabbages and Kings. I'm going to have some content that I'm going to be working on this weekend and next week. I hope to have something for you guys to watch physically with video this time within the next 2 weeks. And my target this time will be Small World. I want to do the country in order of appearance of the Disneyland ride and present you guys with a dish and me cooking it so that you may be able to follow along at home as well.
That's amazing.
Super cool stuff right there. Love
So
the Cabbages
cool.
and Kings right there. I think OG55 actually said they complimented you on the name earlier in the chat. I do think I read that. Could be wrong, though.
I did. I was
Awesome
very
stuff.
flattered. You might have seen me turn beet red. Redder than I do.
That's super, super cool. Love going Shogi. He's
Thank you for
fantastic.
having me
Fantastic
on.
platform.
This was amazing. I feel honored to be in your presence and to be able to talk on your show and be able to present you guys with food and meals of the month and everything. So I'm absolutely honored. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic stuff. Love having you on, Shogi.
You had to have
Do
the food
appreciate
expert for the segment. Absolutely.
When MJ actually brought that up before, I was like, what? Probably apropos, probably appropriate. So happy to highlight anybody as long as, hey.
O2RR. What a sweetheart. He for the $199, another $199 for an extra 199 seconds, please.
O2RR. He just loves the content that we produce on this channel. Do appreciate that. Okay, we'll give you a couple extra 199 there for the 199. Power to the 199. Hail to the 199.
Amen.
No question about that. What do I have actually in my repertoire?
I
actually posted exciting news about a coaster with Almighty Coasters, and we exchanged that on X. So I can send you the link if you want to quickly talk about that coaster. I think it was.
Yeah. It's at your X account right there.
It is. Yes.
And
indeed.
you posted, right?
I sure did.
I
tagged them on a post. Let me see. That's okay. I'll pull it up and send it to you.
Okay.
Just gotta go into my notifications. And
I saw that Hatbox Ghost popcorn bucket earlier.
That looks so cool. We
It
could
looks
talk about
really
that.
cool, actually.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
usually not interested in those, but that one
I'm
looked
not a popcorn
pretty
bucket
cool.
guy. Oof.
That is. Let's talk about the popcorn bucket. Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to know about that coaster too. Okay.
Oh,
well,
okay. Yeah. So
if
I'm
you,
looking for it.
yeah, okay. Well, go ahead and look for it. I'll show everybody the popcorn bucket right there, and we can ooh and all over it because I'm usually not interested in them, and yet this one right here was phenomenal looking. Here you go. Scott Goosen, new Haunted Mansion Hotbox Ghost popcorn bucket right there, available at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure for a limited time beginning August 13th.
That's dynamite.
So, yeah,
That's
look,
dynamite. They killed it.
It looked pretty good right there. Like I said, I'm not usually interested in this stuff, but that one I was like, I can see why Scott Goosten posted about it because it looks pretty cool.
This is the stuff that gives me hope because there's still people working within the company who do still care and who do still have a fandom and a passion for these things that they're creating.
That's true.
And so like when I see little stuff like this is what keeps me hopeful.
They're in little alcoves within the company, right? They're, maybe not everybody in one place, maybe at Imagineering or Entertainment or otherwise, but they're in little alcoves. People still care about what they are producing, as Shogi beautifully pointed out. MJ, any luck?
I have the tag and he responded to me. And I asked him, are you going to be going to this? And he says, I don't think I am. Airy Force One got to me first, but I can't remember if it was Six Flags. It was some grandiose coaster. I'm trying to pull it up and I sent it to your DM, but I don't know if I can actually pull up the article. It kind of went poof, kaproof. It disappeared.
It disappeared like the bumper on the coaster.
It did. You gotta love X sometimes. But yeah, that popcorn bucket looks amazing.
Thrill Geek right here. Busch Gardens, I do believe I found it.
Okay. Theme Park Wizard found it. The Kumba is closing.
Kumba permanently closing.
There it is.
No good.
Thank you, Wizard.
That's not great. There were rumors about this for years, and I was like, are they really going to do that? Oh, it's such a historic coaster right there, obviously a B&M Classic. I was like, are they really going to do that? Looks like they are, unfortunately. This July 14, 2026 by Clint Gamache right here. For over 3 decades, the iconic roar of Kumba has been a defining sound of the Congo section at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Since its debut in 1993, Balgur and Mabillard masterpiece has delivered high-intensity thrills from its massive vertical loop to its signature zero-G roll. However, all legendary rides eventually reach the end of their journey, and it's been officially announced that Kumba will close permanently on August 2nd, 2026. Oh, no good. Come on, man. Gotta give me warning on this stuff. Yeah. Dang it, Bob. Don't like that.
That's why I tagged Almighty Coasters, because I'm like, are you going to go on this one more time? But I don't think he can. So. Yeah.
No, don't think so. When Kumba opened in 1993, it had set a new standard for steel roller coasters as one of the early products by the legendary design firm B&M. It became an instant classic, renowned for its forceful elements and classic intensity, and many modern coasters struggle to replicate its success. Over the last 33 years, it has become a rite of passage for thrill seekers and sentimental favorite for longtime park guests. It's no good. Don't like that. El Toro Ryan, if you are listening right now, we need a problematic coaster history deep dive on Kumba right here. I think that'd be pretty cool to actually see. But man, tough stuff. Well, it was a big deal. That's why I posted it on X. But the news constantly moves, and I was like, "What was that? Where was that again?" It's just we cover so much stuff. But yeah.
We've had such bad news with coasters to leave the coaster news on a positive note. Montezuma's Revenge is about to open back up again.
Absolutely. So it's testing with human riders right there. You'll remember Montezuma's Revenge as it was known before. Now it's Montezuma. What is it, Forbidden Fortress or something? You can see why, right? So, but remember, that was a historic coaster actually entered in the, Coaster Society historical significance was placed on that specific coaster right there.
Wow.
So there's a little bit of good news. There's a little bit of good coaster news to leave everybody with.
Absolutely. Being entirely redone right there. New track, new trains, new launch, actually, which is very, very cool right there. It's going to be, I think, a variable launch in which you don't necessarily know the direction you're going to go, whether it's going forward or you're going back. that's kind of a cool thing right there. I was supposed to highlight the testing here, and I lost my link for that. But I think, Shogi, you're right. We should end on a positive note, especially for our coaster enthusiasts out there. And at least Montezuma will be reopening here sometime shortly. Let's see if I can actually get this going on right now. You can see from 5 fires over there at the Cali Bay. You can see some people actually riding the coaster, which is very, very cool. And $20 million Montezuma coaster is, quote, like a brand new ride, says the Knott's president.
Oh,
I
like
like Brady
the smoke.
McDonald as well.
That
Look
is
at
so cool. Oh,
Smoke
man.
effect right there.
That's great.
Big launch, loop, and then obviously back inside. Helicopter shots there for that. That's pretty
look at
cool right
that.
there. 5
This is how you
fires.
reinvent a classic. You don't tear it down and replace it with something else. This is how you improve on a classic.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So remember, Schwarzkopf was the original manufacturer of this coaster right there, but Schwarzkopf hasn't been in existence since what, like the 70s or 80s or something?
Yeah.
I gotta look back at my coaster history right there, guys. Sorry. Drone footage. There you go. That's what we need.
We have Matt B 707. Busch Gardens spending $100 million on new investments. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's significant, especially at this trying time for theme parks themselves. Oh, come on. Don't give me that right there. We want to enjoy Montezuma. Give me a second, guys. Hold on.
You gotta love the internet.
Can't even
sometimes.
watch it again without logging in. Thanks, Elon. Okay, here we go. Right there.
Yeah.
That's
Elon.
what we need.
Bob and
but
Elon,
yeah, so-
curse you both.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob and Elon. Darn it, you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
But, hey, at least, like Shogi said, we're at least getting a new coaster this year.
Yes.
I will say though, Knott's Berry Farm, a little bit. It's been a while since we've got a new coaster out of them. I think 2018 was when Hang Time actually opened. Remember they were going to do that gargantuan, Giga coaster back in the day, but obviously those plans fell through. So we're still waiting on a new coaster from Knott's Berry Farm right there. Now,
They're also
as
a little
it's part of the
landlocked
Six Flags
too, aren't
brand,
they?
very landlocked.
Yeah.
You're probably talking about the most landlocked Six Flags park in existence right now.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit difficult, but we're hoping to get something new here very shortly. Yeah. Refurb 4 years. It was a long time. It was a long time right there for Montezuma. And there was by the way, there was some speculation that it was like once that work started and didn't actually start back up for a period of time, it was like, oh, has this thing actually fallen through? Have we lost a coaster forever because of issues related to the manufacturer and or the contractor for this whole thing? Thankfully, and I remember those are some of my first stories that I ever covered on That Park Place back in the channel's infancy was on Montezuma. So this has actually kind of come full circle for me, which is why, Shogi, very appropriate to actually bring that up. All right, O2RR, you got another 199 out of all of us. Thank you so much.
I think that was more than 199 seconds.
I think it was. Was right there. But we already featured Cabbages and Kings right there. So if you want to go ahead and find Shogi at his new channel, you absolutely can right there at Cabbages Kings 52. That's the best way to actually find that right there. I know I was trying to put your links in, Shogi, for our channel's description the other day.
I'll send that
There
to
you
you later today.
That's all right. We got it. Cabbages Kings.
I'm still new at
52
this. I'm
is
still
the
pretty
best
green.
way. Absolutely. And if you want to see Miss MagicalyMJ out there actually talking it up with people like Almighty Coasters on X, you can go ahead and follow her at MagicalyMJ as well. Any other social media that you want to go ahead and highlight here for us before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah. I'm on X and Instagram. I'm pretty active on my socials, and I have some really, really cool links. I also have my link to my YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and put it in the...
I got you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, Shogi.
Oh,
He happens to be mod extraordinaire, chef extraordinaire. He does all the things. But if you're not comfortable on X, you can just subscribe to my channel, and I post pretty frequent where I'm a guest and which programs. But thank you, Vash, for having us on your program today. It was so much fun talking about more than just cabbages and things. We talked about all the snacks and the new coasters. So it was a great show. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me on so much. Thank you so much.
Of course. I gotta have Shogi on, and you did such a fantastic meal of the month yesterday during our 10K celebration. I felt apropos to bring you on once again. Here we go. PR Burke 1 here. That's all right, no problem. 199. Visit Busch Gardens Williamsburg. It has coasters and trees. That's a good point right there. Williamsburg. I've always wanted to. Exactly right. Always wanted to see Williamsburg. Always wanted to see some of those East Coast theme parks. I try to, get out there as often as I can, but I think I'm like one every 20 years. So
Vash, just for programming, Marvin will not be going live, but Pro will in 30 minutes if you'd like to redirect our beautiful audience to the WDW Pro Show.
I was just going to say, I have already redirected to WW Pro because he's going to do a review of Christopher Nolan's Odyssey that is in theaters right now. So we will be redirecting over to the Pro Show. It's going to be a little bit early, but hang in there. He'll be starting up pretty soon right there. Vixen Sky 007 coming in the chat, wanting to promote Vash and Vixen actually on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. I was just going to do that, and Vixen beat me to it. She's so good on that stuff. Phenomenal. She brings every single one of those talents to the show. I think it's fantastic. Vash and Vixen, live Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's an awesome show. I love it. I love doing it. I love going through the history. And this week, we're going to do part 2 of Salute to America. That is the American Adventure right there, maybe Liberty Square. We did Hall of Presidents, but we didn't actually talk about the square that it's actually in. But we'll talk about that as well, I think. And then Disney's own Virginia-based theme park, all about America. What actually happened to it? What concepts did they eventually go forward with? And where those ended up? All that and more this Saturday, folks, 3 p.m. Eastern for that show. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. I think that just really does about conclude us right there. I think we are out of here right now. Pet of the week. Also, too, if you want to go ahead and submit your pets, you can go ahead and do so right there at vixensky007@gmail.com. You can have your pet featured on there. Hey, photos, video, story, all that and more. You can go ahead and submit it right there. Okay, now we're good. I think we did all of our homework. I think so.
It was a great show. Very good.
It was a great show, and people really loved it. People really, are excited about this show, and we're happy to bring it to you. So thank you. And I do believe we're either right on the cusp of 11, or we just hit it.
Ooh,
and that's all
hit
thanks
it.
to you.
We're at 11K, Vash.
Oh.
11K.
Bam.
You hit it. You hit it. Yes.
As Stanley would say,
Absolutely
Excelsior. Ever up.
Well, I like to
That's
say
beautiful.
the sky is the limit. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.